So much for joining me this evening. My name's Dylan Thomas, and I'm absolutely very, very
Hey there.
proud to be representing Stash today. So, just to kick things off, I am head of the off-market department here at Stash. And what we're really excited to show you today is how we can help you scale your business without having to bring on any extra staff. We've got everything and want to show you how we can manage that all in the background. Alrighty.
Lie down, did you?
Oh, what was that? Sorry. Oh, no worries. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Alrighty. So, guys, once again, welcome to Stash BA. Today we'll be going over Marketplace, your one-stop app for high growth investment opportunities. So, why is Stash BA here? Stash BA is a property sourcing platform built specifically for buyers agents, designed to help them find high quality investment properties faster, smarter, and more cost effective. The challenge of what we've been hearing a lot from the buyers agents is sourcing quality properties, and then of course that takes on obviously effort, and then having to go through hiring staff as well. So here at Stash, we've come up with a little bit of a solution, and it's designed to make buyers agents faster, smarter, and of course more scalable. So why does Stash BA exist? As a buyer's agent in the past, there was something that I found really hard, and that was obviously taking on many briefs per month, but then having to find balance between executing briefs and then onboarding more, because you're only as good as the month you've just previously had. So it's no well and good onboarding 10, then getting all that 10 done in the same month, and then sitting there going, well, where's my next 10 going to come from? Because you didn't have time to go through and win new business while still sourcing property and scaling it for yourself. So, what Stash BA Marketplace actually does and how it's designed to efficiently and to be efficient and scale your business, it replaces the need to hire a full-time sourcer. It eliminates cold calling and hours on realestate.com, but most of all, it actually saves on salary, commission, with all this subscription access that we have. Imagine onboarding double the clients without doubling your workload, but also take into consideration your time and what are you worth per hour, having to train a junior with staff, etc. So what we want to do is take away that headache of onboarding, training, and then of course trying to scale and taking on too much, taking you away from the most important thing, and that's bringing in clients. Let us at Stash BA get the off-market opportunities for you. So here at Stash, our off-market opportunities, it really is the real edge. So we've executed off-market access through real estate and domain.com. We do daily uploads, but the beautiful thing about the daily uploads is we actually have everything vetted to our top tier standards, and only top tier properties actually make it through. If I had a number that I had to pluck out of thin air, I'd say I'd probably reject 20 properties before I actually get to one that I will make Stash approved and actually post on Marketplace. So this week's off markets, I will share my screen now, and feel free, guys, to jump in where need be. And if you would like to have any questions about what is happening around the grounds, and then in a moment, I will just go through some other touch points as well. So I'll give you a bit of a sneak peek on what you probably have already seen of what the platform is looking like right now. Alrighty. So here at Stash, we want full transparency between yourselves and us. So we are openly displaying the addresses. So what we are doing is we're getting everything done with a price guide. That's what we're asking agents, right? What is a buy now price? We are showing you the predicted rental yield. We're letting you know if the property is currently tenanted. We are also going through as much as we can with all the bushfire and flood risk as well. So that's all done through Stash BA portal. And what we can do, we are going through all the heritage and all the biodiversity as well. And then we're also gathering as much information as we can. So when you do see a property of interest, oh, here you go, here, look, this one's just been listed, 204 Richard Street. This one's probably just being uploaded as we speak. As you can see, the price hasn't come through just yet. We probably have an agent working on that right now. So with that one there for Ballarat East, you'll see in a moment, this will be fully vetted. So something that we really like to go for is that has development potential. So we like to go off the four key pillars. And the first one is location. What is actually working in the marketplace? What's an area that we're seeing scalable, and of course have long-term growth later on down the track. And then, of course, quality. We're making sure that these properties are definitely of high spec, or at least as high spec as we can get them, as least amount of renovation potential as possible. But of course, there's many different types and many different briefs to suit. Then of course we go for orientation. Now, orientation is absolutely huge, especially everywhere except for Queensland. So we don't like a lot of these properties to be south rear facing. Reason being, there is a lot of dampness and mold issues later on down the track when it comes to a building a pest inspection. We've taken that into consideration. And then, of course, as well, we want to make sure that the property is structurally sound. So we do prefer to give you more of a brick build, but then of course we've had some clients come to us and say, no, we actually do prefer more of a character build. So we've definitely got something for everyone, and we do vet it to the highest standard of what we believe here would be definitely a profitable asset. So is there any questions from anyone as of now? Just before I move on to the next topic. And if there's any questions about any properties you've seen so far, or any features about the marketplace on and or what it's doing right now, feel free to
Uh,
jump in.
Dylan, could you just explain what it says where it says expires in 6 days?
Yes, great question. Great question. So what that actually means is when I've had the chat with the agent or some of my sources have had the chat with the agent, they're saying, "Hey, Dill, you've got
My
six
my link
days."
dropped out. I didn't know what was your end or my end. I didn't hear the didn't hit I didn't hit the last.
Oh, yeah, Richard, I'll be with you in a moment, mate. I'll just quickly answer Teresa's question. So, Teresa, what that actually means is in the 6 days, that's where the agent has actually said, "Hey, you've got this exclusive for 6 days. Um, Try and drum up as much business as you can. Have you got a buyer's agent that may work for you on this? So, if you see this and it's something you like, we actually
Frankston,
will assign it
770.
to you." Sorry, Lorraine.
Oh, sorry.
No,
I'm
that's
just pointing to
okay. No
something.
worries. So, Teresa, yeah, so it's 6 days really exclusive, as much as we have it until it will, start to get some photos and be put on the market. And you probably will then see it on realestate.com and Domain. Beautiful. Richard, you had a question before.
Um, yes, can you hear me?
I sure can, mate.
All right. No, they soon you start talking about something about a development site, and then my link dropped out for a minute, so I've only just come back now. I didn't hear anything what you
Oh,
said before.
no, mate.
Is it is
I
it going to
was
be a
just
replay, or can you repeat
Yeah,
it,
this
or
is this is all this is all this is all recorded. So I'll
right?
have to speak with Brett and Colin. We'll make sure we get a copy out to you. But
Okay,
just to
thanks.
sort of recap, mate, we do make sure we go through all the vetting, and we will try and explain as many options about the block that is posted as much as possible. Ranjit, I can see you have your hand up there, mate. Did you have a question?
Yeah, so in terms of feature, or maybe those are the future features, can I actually go to a suburb and then find out off market for that suburb which has been sourced by the sales agent or the agent
So
that you work with?
a feature that we are actually working on at this point in time is where you, as a buyer's agent, can actually upload, and now this is for future, and it might not be too far down the future. And Colin, please feel free to jump in if you have the answer to this straight away. But this is our tech guy, and he's writing away in the background all the time and helping us build this out. But a feature that we're working on quite heavily, and something that we're actually quite excited about is you as a buyer's agent will be able to actually plug in your brief, and then my sources will go do the work for you, and we will match up as best as we can, if not perfectly, knowing that when we hand over a property, it's been vetted. And it
Yeah.
actually stacks up to what you actually need it to be in the suburb that you've said, "Hey, Dill and Stash, let's go target this." I know exactly where to drop one of my
थोड़ा
sources
जीवन के
to
बेटा
start prospecting and start growing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think Harley was telling me about that, Colin. So yeah, I think she was telling me about that feature that you guys are working on.
Yep.
Okay, so that's good. And I think second question was around the fees. Does it vary from property to property, area to area, like the sourcing fees? Any idea, like any indication on that?
Look, we've had people in the past have a different variance of fee, but I would say the average where we are here at Stash is $3,000 per deal. Colin, would you say that's about correct?
Yeah, it'll vary source to source, but that's pretty much what we're seeing from the sources today.
Okay, okay. So is it like when the deal is done? Because maybe I see a property, I
Unconditional.
try to next unconditional, right? So that's where you have to pay
Yes.
3 grand.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks, Colin.
Oh, that's all right. Thank you. Is anybody else? Please don't be shy.
Yep. Oh, I've got a quick question.
G'day, mate. Fire
Hey,
away.
how you going? If you have some fantastic off markets, can we offer them to Stash to load up?
Mate, I would honor that. Please get in contact with me because I'll put it to you.
Okay, great.
This is something that I've got. I've got a lot of BAs that are actually new to the industry. They're great at finding properties, but they haven't quite mastered just yet how to onboard clients. Now, we still want income coming into you. Okay?
Yep.
The best way to do that is let's get off-market opportunities up on here, posted, and let's share it with the community because you are going to get inquiries. You are going to get qualified buyers agents inquiring to you saying, hey, I actually have a client for that. Now, it'll be a great opportunity for you to make more income, but it'll probably be a great opportunity for a young person or, a first starter in the industry to get some traction. And of course, build some great relationships as well with the community.
And the real estate agents, that's exactly right. Yep. And if
Amen.
you've got access to a lot, that's right. It's a good opportunity both ways and to
Yep.
help them, to help the other people, and to help yourself. So it's a three-way win, isn't it? So
Mate, it really isn't. That's what we're trying to
yep,
build here
fantastic.
is the Stash community. We want as many people on here as possible. We are very transparent with all of our data, with all of the deals that are going on, and we just want to
Yep.
build this one-stop shop for everybody to come in, be a part of the community, and let's make some money and a few transactions along the way, right?
Yep. Okay, cool. And then the only other quick question I've got is that I see this all the time, but all I'm seeing is the Victoria ones. So is there ones that are in Sydney or other areas or
Yes. So I guess this is a little bit like Facebook. We're at the very beginning of it and we're growing it very, very heavily. Now, reason why you are seeing majority in Victoria, because I asked the audience, where do you need stock right now?
yeah, that's
About
right.
90% of the buyers agents that I pitch to and have been pitching to for the last couple of months have said Victoria, Ballarat,
It's the new go-to. 100%.
Bendigo, and
Definitely the new go-to,
it
especially
is,
rural.
and that's correct. And it all comes down to price point. I'd say majority of investors sit anywhere between that 400 to 750 at this point in time, where, that's where majority of everybody's briefs are probably sitting. And then you do get an outlier every once in a while below that 400 and then above that 750. For example, I've got a gentleman there. He's got quite a rare one. It's a family home brief. He's looking for a $5 million property on the Gold Coast. So that's something that my team will be trying to hunt down. Obviously, we're not making any promises on timing, but that is something that we're working on in the background. And of course, just remember, just because there are properties out there that can be off market, doesn't mean that they're Stash approved. Sorry, like I said earlier in the meeting today, I probably dismissed 20 properties before I finally put one through. We're very due diligent with that, and we make sure that when something is posted, we've got confidence that when we hand it over to you, that you'll be happy to transact.
Excuse me, can I just ask a question in relation to an earlier point about the $3,000?
Yep.
Can you explain, is it that when you get on the dashboard there and check a property, what is the 3,000 for? Is it for, can you explain the whole process there so that it's clear?
Sure. Yeah. No. Great question about process. So let's just say you found this one here, 204 Richards. You click through, you do your own homework as well, match up against what we've put there, and you go, you know what, I've got a client for that. You then hit inquire. You get sent over the selling agent's details. You match up with the selling agent, you negotiate a deal, and then it goes unconditional. Because we had given you the opportunity for you to meet that agent and you wouldn't have in the open market, it's only available exclusive here on Stash. That's what the $3,000 is for, is the introduction to an off-market opportunity that you would have no competition.
So does okay, thank you. So does it mean that it's only to one person, or because it's open there, everyone with the bias agents can be accessing? So how many 3,000 do you get for each property, or is it just exclusive that person? Then you tick it off. If I come and say I've inquired about it and I'm interested, how
Yeah,
does it work?
so it's so that's where the beauty of the future will lie. At this point in time, it is clicking on it and of course going, you know what, this is going to work for me. I believe I can transact on this property. I have faith in the client, I have faith in the property, and I have faith in the platform in order to make this work. So that's where the beauty of what the future entails is where we're working on it, and I don't think we're too far away, is where you can plug in your brief and then we can actually go sourcing for you and match it up. Exactly. So what that will eliminate is more of an open forum. So at this point in time, you're seeing listings on there that are scaling through. Okay. What will happen in the future is you will upload your brief. We will then match a property to your brief and say, hey, we believe this will work for you. And then we will go, right, okay. At unconditional, we will be charging the sourcing fee.
Thank you.
No, thank you. So, guys, as you can see, we built this to help you scale. We really did see a need for something like this. We've seen a lot of buyers agent, and it has become quite popular over the last couple of years to get into this industry.
Fine off market
It's so lucrative.
Fine off market because I'm
Oh,
gonna open this up.
sorry, Brad, you there? Oh,
Apologies.
no, that's all right, mate. All good. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. So, guys, we created this just to obviously give back to you. So, instead of going out and hiring, trying to, train. I know I've done that myself. God, I train people every single day when we're onboarding them here as well. So, but I see just how helpful that we have been able. So, with the buyers agents that have joined and have been able to transact on properties that we have here, just the joy of knowing that when we hand over a property, all the work has been done. We get all the insurance quotes, everything. So when you do present it to your client, you have full satisfaction knowing that the suburb work has been done, the flood checks have been done, the fire checks have been done, and of course, you make sure there's no insurance premiums that would be attached. So, is there any other questions from the group here this evening?
Yep. I'd like to ask.
Yes, please, Andre.
Yep. Do you have land sites as well, like registered
Yes.
land?
Yes, we do. We have all the
Yeah.
land size, everything in there as well. Everything you can think of. And if we don't have it there, let us know. We at the end of the day, we are human. We do try to add everything that we can. Yes, we do have the land size in there as well. So when you click through a listing and inquire, all the details will be shared with you.
Sorry, Andre, was that land sites or land size?
Sites. So if there's any
Oh,
registered
sites.
sites.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
I thought you said size.
Sorry
about
about
that.
yeah.
Yeah, we will. We're working with some sources who do that exclusively.
Mhm.
So we're just working on how do we get them on there in an easy way. But it's pretty much where Stash originally started, was sourcing development sites.
Yeah.
And then the last sort of year we've moved towards buyers agents and just focusing on that. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of data we've got on that. In terms of the other states, I've just still got to vet a whole bunch of them, but we've got hundreds in Queensland, hundreds in New South Wales. So it's not just Vic. So we're vetting them at the moment to get them on before they move on. But yeah, there's a lot coming down the path. Even what you're seeing here, it's a scrolling screen where you got to flick through and hope you find something.
Yeah.
Because we're sort of ramping up quite quickly, the numbers are probably exceeding the amount of deals that we've got off market. That interface won't work. So we're just changing that over the next week. So you'll be able to literally type in a council, type in a state, or even search via map, just going, show me all the hundreds of off-market properties that are out there, zoom around the map and click on ones you're after. So got to put a lot more searching functionality in the next week to make that a lot easier. But there's literally hundreds we're going to load up pretty soon.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, it'd be awesome.
What about going down the commercial part? Will you be exploring those avenues?
Yes, we are. So that's something we're building out at this point in time. We haven't perfected it just yet, obviously, because of a lot more moving parts in the commercial world. But that is something I'm working on, and stay tuned if that's
Is
okay.
that just for the off-market function, or is it also for the searching and the rest of the Stash portal?
So
program?
I'll jump in there. So basically, yeah, Stash, for anyone who's used it before, obviously this off market is just one tiny bit of Stash. The rest of it is all around searching properties, suburbs, and everything. In terms of commercial, look, Stash has data on every single property, including all the commercial ones. The thing that it's very difficult to get, and when I was at Pricefinder, it was similar sort of problems where you're trying to find, say, the leasing data for commercial properties, and it doesn't exist that great. There's a lot of hidden data that only is, say, an agent has that doesn't actually flow through. So that sort of data was really difficult to get our hands on a national scale. So if that's sort of in terms of commercial, that's probably the biggest gap, is just getting, what did it lease for? What was the discount? Is trying to bring that to the surface so you can work out accurate yields. So it is a challenge in getting that stuff, but just because the bigger real estate agencies do hold that tight.
But there's also, when I was looking at the functionality, sorry to jump in, everyone, just 2 seconds. But what about things like the growth rates and sort of sales data and those performance metrics outside of yields?
For commercial?
Yeah, correct.
Not a massive amount, to be honest, because there was just so much variance in a commercial property to get good, I guess, growth rates.
Yeah.
Comparable sales will be there, but I don't know about the growth rates. I sort of pulled back and just did it with a smaller subset because it was very difficult, because every commercial property was different to get good, meaningful stats that we could apply across the whole of commercial.
Colin, when you say you've got information on all the properties, if I wanted to find out ownership of a particular factory, we can do that. I mean, I know that can be made into it might be held in a company name or a trust or a super fund, but at least that's a starting point, isn't it?
So that's the only difference, I suppose, in terms of ownership. So when I was at Pricefinder, so we built Pricefinder 20 years ago, we started that. And over the last years left all that. But pretty much to get that data, the ownership data, was quite a significant amount. It's $3 to $4 million a year in terms of getting that. So CoreLogic, Pricefinder are really the two major players in that space, obviously. So when we were building this, we basically did everything but that owner's name. We've got all the other data, but that owner's name. But you can plug in, your Pricefinder subscription. I'm working on CoreLogic now. So we basically left that to the side for the moment, just due to the initial cost of getting it up and running would basically quite a significant investment. But we're happy to partner. We're partnering with the existing players in that space just for that name. But in terms of everything else the product does, is sort of the things that those providers didn't do, focusing more on the buyer rather than, say, focusing on what the seller wants.
Of course. So if I have, as you say, getting back to the off-market property, if I have an off-market property that I can put to you guys, do you guys then go and secure it if it's not secured by a current real estate agent at the moment? Because I know off-market properties by agents are then supplied to you guys. They've signed them up on an exclusive, and they haven't put them on realestate.com yet. They supply it to you to say, let's see whether the BAs can come up with a buyer over the next 2 or 3 weeks before we start open houses. So if I have a property that somebody wants to sell off market, how do I secure it, or how do you guys secure it so that we can actually start promoting it to the other BAs and find me a buyer for it?
Great question. So we've actually had that recently for a few properties there in Victoria. So what you would actually do is that you would nominate yourself as the selling agent through the system there at Stash. And then, of course, you would just be almost like the gatekeeper between vendor, BA, and then yourself negotiating that deal across the line. It is a little bit more hands-on rather than the system that we do have, which is all you're doing is just being a sourcer, introducing a BA who's inquired on your listing, and then you just handing over the seller's detail, the selling agent's details, and then marrying up that relationship.
Right.
You would have to be a little bit more hands-on in that situation.
So I would sign up as a vendor's advocate, for instance, and then pass it on to you guys.
Honestly, why not? Why not? Yeah, definitely. I have had a gentleman in my sourcing team who was just collecting the sourcer income, but you could if you wanted to, and you could sign that up as a vendor advocacy. Why not? Definitely, that could definitely work in your favor. I can see
Because you have to secure it somehow so the owner doesn't go off and sign another agent while you're
that's correct.
promoting it to the BAs. Yeah.
That's correct, and I guess that's where the agents are protected with their agency agreements as well. Ranjit, sorry mate, I can see you've had your hand up there for a while.
Yeah,
and
no,
we'll get to you straight after if that's okay. Ranjit, what was
all
your
good.
question, mate?
Yeah, I think you probably answered that. In terms of sourcing currently, is it Stash team and you guys have the sourcing team which is doing this, actually talking with the sales agent, getting those deals? Or is it kind of, I think I got the answer from Colin as well. There's an email where I can send that if I have a connection for an off market. So, but currently, are you guys doing all part of Stash in the current space?
Yes, so at this point in time, I've got many of my little minions running around Australia.
Yeah.
Now, where we're prospecting is all backed by data that we use here at Stash. So I guess that's why to go back to a comment earlier about, I'm seeing a lot in Victoria. That's what's driving us there is
Mm.
everything that's backed by the data. So yeah, that's where we're prospecting at this point in time. But if you also have stock that you may not have a buyer that's either qualified for it
Yep.
or just doesn't quite match up with property and brief, feel free post it in here, be the middleman, and try to get the deal across the line. And of course, we get some reward for it as well in the meantime.
Yeah, makes sense. Thanks, man.
Fantastic. Jay, fire away.
Hey, sorry, just finding the mute button. Yeah, so well, just leading on from that actually.
Yeah.
So what's the fee to be the middleman? So if I have an upmarket, I put it into Stash, it passes the tests. What's the fee to the middleman?
To the sourcer.
Yeah.
Yep. So what, Colin, I guess it's $3,000 to Stash there. So I think that would work out to be, well, what is it, two?
Something, yeah. So I think it varies depending on what the sourcing fee is. I mean, we dictate it based on what the sourcer wants and what they're used to getting. So it's
Like I
based
said,
off that.
the average is three. So like when you take everything out and obviously using the platform as well, it'll be about two.
Okay.
In the hand, yeah.
So we'll still do vetting as well as after that. So if you've got it, say you do have a relationship with an agent and they've given you a property that you don't have currently a buyer for, pass it on. We'll do the vetting and then push it out and see if we can connect up the buyer's agents that we've got. Because basically over the last sort of 3-4 months, since you've probably heard about Stash, it's gone nuts in terms of the amount of buyer's agents jumping onto the platform. So if we've got enough buyer's agents using it, we'll find buyers for these properties. And we're just seeing solving the problem on both sides, seeing that, yes, you've got stock, you've got agents, relationships. How do we help you just move it on and still clip that ticket? So yeah, there's certainly a lot of opportunity on all sides of the fence. Whether it's, I know Brett put it in there around, we're working on a client brief at the moment, obviously integrating with game plans, so we can have it as a sort of buyer brief led where we'll go off and search for you. Obviously, it's all completely optional. You can still use Stash like you've used it up until now, where you do all your searches yourself and connect with the agents yourself. That's purely, you can do that. This is just another thing that Stash will do, just going, hey, whenever you do your brief, we'll help you find any on-market properties, but also go, hey, here's some off-markets which might solve this straight away. A day later, and you've done that deal, and you're on to the next one. So it's really just trying to bring it to the surface and make it a lot easier to transact.
I can see.
Cool. Sorry, can I just say, you've got 6 days on a property, which is it's sort of pre-market. So if you've got a buyer, but the buyer doesn't want to transact or doesn't transact, and then it goes live, what happens then? And you lose the property, so it's just gone. So
that's correct.
That work's gone into it. You've done all your due diligence, everything else on it. You've put it out. Someone's come to get it. Procrastinates. 6 days later, hits the market. You've just lost all your work. You've done nothing.
Real estate, I learned from a very young age, being in this industry since I was 17 and just cracked 32 now. Real estate's a numbers game. And if I get hung up on one lost listing or one opportunity, real estate's not for me. It's just a numbers game. So the more opportunities that we can find you, it just works out the law of averages. I had many times where I either lost a listing or even like as of recent, I've handed over a lot of off-market opportunities, and some buyers agents, their buyers, they procrastinate and they just can't get it across the line. Well, it builds the relationship and you show them a lot of trust that, once it does go on the market, then you can do a bit of a comparable and say, well, do you see how we could have had it at 500? The market saw it at 550. So do you see now that you could have had a $50,000 saving on an off-market opportunity? So it's a little bit of a learning experience. And yes, look, some people do need a second bite of the cherry before coming to a realization, but real estate, it really is a numbers game.
Well, I understand that it's a numbers game, but the buyer's agent wouldn't have given you $3,000 if it's not going to transact.
Well, he doesn't give us $3,000 unless it goes unconditional.
So it's once the contract's gone through,
Yep.
it's unconditional, that's when you get paid, which is understandable. But if there's just so few days with them before they hit the market, I can see you, having a major problem.
So far, it's not been a major problem whatsoever. Everything we've been able to put to it, because we are prospecting in areas, that investors are already sprousing and talking about. They're seeing these opportunities come up that are exclusive. We haven't had many that have fallen through.
Okay.
Yeah, fantastic. I can see.
I can go next.
Yep. How are
Yeah.
you, mate? How are you?
Yeah, good man, good. So now my question is about like the selling agent send that off market listing to multiple agents, right? So and I send it to you to put it on the stash. Then how you manage that like you're sharing the deal with another BA and he's getting that contact of sales agent. So how it becomes exclusive to me, I'm sharing that deal to you, and how you map that the commission is going to me rather than someone else. So how that works.
Sure.
Yeah.
So when we are like wanting to put, and this is why we vet it so hard as well. We really want these properties to be are you talking, sorry, just to recap for a second there. Are you talking about when you find an off-market opportunity, you put it on Stash and then you start posting it as a listing for then other buyers agents to inquire on? Or are you saying that one's already on there and then you inquire on it as well?
No, I got up
Yep.
market and I
Yep.
send it to you, right? I email to you,
Yep.
put it on the stash.
Yep.
Okay, and someone click on it,
Yep.
they get the real estate agent number details, they transact on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then how do I know like the buyer has transact on that property?
Yep. So we actually chase all that for you, and we actually chase up because at the end of the day, we do want to get paid as well, right? So
Yeah.
we will actually chase all the invoicing in the background there. And then, of course, once we get paid, you'll get paid on that as well.
And we don't unlock the agent's name. We'll only unlock that to one person, one buyer's agent. And it's basically they got a free hit on that property. So it's
Okay.
that's the yeah.
And
I guess
if
that's
let's
why the
say,
future's so
yeah,
exciting as well, because when we do get to the level of when you plug in your brief, then it will really be your pilot, your way to go.
okay. And if let's suppose that deal doesn't work out between that buyer agent and the sales agent, and the property goes on market on realestate.com after some time, maybe a week or so. So still that commission is payable or it's gone once the property hit to the market.
Well, if you had it under contract, if you've got it under contract, it can't go on the market. And if you've negotiated the deal, then it would actually stay off market until it goes unconditional with you. So yeah, if say if the deal falls over and then it goes on the market, well, the deal was never put together anyway. So yes, everything would be null and void.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ols, did you have a question down the bottom?
Yeah, I did, mate. Just a quick one. So I see a lot of the properties that are on there are really good growth, capital growth. And what about properties that can come on that don't really present much capital growth but really high rental yield? Have you got a variation in that in your platform of how you're presenting these, or?
I will. I'm going to have a search function where you can search via just yield.
Yeah, okay.
I just want to see a property with 6-7%, whatever it is. So
Yep.
yeah, I'm going to build that in. I've got a lot of stock that I'm looking at that does have some fairly good yield in certain areas. So yeah, we'll get that on there, and I just need to change that interface to make it you can search a bit better than just sliding through a scroller.
Yeah, fantastic. Because I've got a collection of really high rental yield off markets that I could put up, but I just didn't know if they'd be visible to people or not. Whether they have to scroll right through the lot to find what's with this place,
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thanks. Yep.
Love it. Luke, I see you got your hand raised there, mate.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, just my question is just in regards to the price guide. You mentioned that it is at a sort of buy now price, and I know in Victoria there's a lot of underquoting. Do you guys sort of push on the real estate agents to give you a bit more honest pricing?
Big time. So when it's the buy now, it's and it's a little bit around the questioning. Okay, so a question that I'm really getting all my sources to hit really heavy is when you have someone call up and they say, "What's the price guide?" The agent's obviously going to try and give you as much fluff as possible. So the question that we ask is okay, I see the price guide. I can see it's going to auction. What did you put on the agency agreement? No BS. What did you put on the agency agreement in order for this deal to make it happen? Just that little bit of prompting and a little bit of scripting that we use is actually getting us the buy now. So we also tell them about just what a great opportunity off market can be in their listing presentations. So they want to work with us, they want to give us the opportunity, and they give us the off market listing to us to post on Stash. For you guys to then want to transact. And if they're not transparent from the get-go, well, we pretty much let them know that we're just wasting each other's time. So we would need a buy now price for you guys, and we explain your process. You stack it up against your briefs. You go, right, at this price and this yield, this works for my clients and their game plan moving forward over the next 20 years. We're ready to transact. So if they do give us a hugely inflated price, well, they've just wasted their time and they have burnt a little bit of a bridge there. We probably wouldn't be using them again, or giving them the opportunity to use us in their listing presentations either.
Great, thank you. That's my question.
Can I ask the question at all?
Yes, you sure can.
Hi, just wanting to know two things. One is the rough timeline by which this sourcing service of yours will be available.
Yep.
And the other one was what would be the rough turnaround? Obviously, it's a very sort of vague question, but let's say I say I need something around 10 Smith Street for $550,000, 2-bed, 2-bath. You can usually go 48 hours or 2 weeks, or it's
Yeah. Colin, do you want to answer the first question? I'll answer the second one.
What was the first one?
When the service will be available.
Yeah, sorry, available now. Sorry, I missed that completely. It was in my head. Yes, it's already up and running now. So you can, every time you log into Stash, you'll see all the off-market properties that not all of them. It's only a handful that we've loaded in there now. Over the next few days, we're going to change it so I can load all the other ones in, and then you can actually search a bit better. So, but yeah, the properties are up there now, and they're fully live, ready to transact. Some of them have been signed, some of them have been sold. You'll see that. We check daily if they do come on the market and remove them or flag them as such. So they're
and how about giving you a brief?
In terms of you giving us a brief?
Yes.
Yeah, so that I'm working on now. I'm building a brief inside Stash, integrating with game plans, and the more, I guess, brief data we can get database, then we can crunch all that data and then serve them up to you pretty much instantly, the ones that are already there. And then in terms of using the sourcing team going, hey, I've got this brief, I can't find anything myself, I'm going to ship it out to the sources to see what they can do.
Beautiful. And then just to answer your second question there, in a new suburb, so we're finding, especially in newer suburbs that are more family home briefs, that are more, a bit more detail orientated, that aren't just driven by price and then yield, and then obviously forecast. We're having to find, a few more refined specs. Has to have a 3.2 meter bathroom, etc. Right? We are expecting usually for a new suburb for us to crack it like properly, where we're starting to get a bit of a funnel built up, about 2 weeks. But in places that we're already well established, backed by the Stash data as well, we are having a pretty quick turnaround. We are uploading about 20 quality off markets a week.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's with a lean team at the moment. We are growing exponentially.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you very much.
No, thank you. Philippe, I see you got your hand up there as well.
And Olds.
Yeah, just a quick one as well to
Sorry.
help present this to other REAs about getting their off markets and presenting them to you to put through your system.
Yeah.
What sort of BA, about how many BAs have you got on board that are looking, or say potential purchasers or clients that are looking right now on your system?
On Stash, there's probably over 500 or so, I think, in terms of BAs using the platform.
Yep. Okay.
And it's just gone like exceptionally nuts since we first launched this in January, February.
For sure.
Yeah, there was very few, but we've had sources using this product. We just didn't know they were using it.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. So there's people that do this for a full-time job, just finding properties, and we're like, okay, how do we make this easier? How do we help you connect the dots? Because they were working with the same people over and over, and they're finding properties, and then they were just going through to the keeper. So, and BAs were doing the same thing, going, let's send my brief to all the agents in the area, and the agents don't have anything for that brief. So it was kind of like, how do we make this whole process much, much more streamlined for all parties, for agents, for buyers agents, and the sourcer itself?
Yeah, fantastic. I can see how this program can connect a lot of dots and make a lot of things happen. So I'll be promoting it as much as I can.
Nice one.
Thank you, mate. We love your support. Donna, I saw you raise your hand in the chat.
Yeah, I've got a lot of questions, but
love it. Fire away.
First one. So what is the source for the off markets? Is that from real estate agents or just other buyers agents?
So the source. It's coming from many different places. So you probably heard earlier that buyers agents, sometimes they meet with a vendor and they go, hey, look, I don't have a buyer for you right now, but I could facilitate something. So that is one connection. But majority are actually coming from our prospecting. We're touching base with some of the highest performers in each targeted suburb area that we are going after, building relationship with them. This is obviously helping them in their listing presentations to bring us more and more quality stock. I vet them. So I've had some agents say to me, oh, Dill, you reject everything that I give to you. And it's like, well, I only want the good ones. So then I will post the really, really nice ones up here for you at Stash on the marketplace. So
Yeah.
it's coming from both places.
Sorry, I was on mute before and I was having technical difficulties. I just had a question around, obviously you've discussed the vetting of the properties themselves.
Yep.
Do you vet the BA that I guess puts forward an inquiry for the property as well? Because to some of the points earlier, like let's say that there's a 14-day window before a property goes live.
Mhm.
All it takes is to have a BA who's, may not have had a deal for a little while or is speculative or wanting to get a deal done for a client that might not be qualified, and you put your eggs in that basket, the time goes and then obviously it goes to market. So I guess, is there a way to kind of have confidence that whoever Stash sort of selects as the chosen one, for lack of a better word, has the ingredients to fulfill?
Yeah, so it's not actually us choosing. It's not us choosing. Because if it's your deal that you've posted in Stash, it's not actually us that's choosing it. It'll actually be yourself. So you'll see the inquiries come through when you're managing your listing, and then from there you'll be able to go, oh, I don't know about that person. I don't know about this person. You'll be able to make contact with them, maybe vet them a little bit as well. Have a few questions about them. My sources do it all the time because obviously we do want the deal to go through. So because there'll be all the agent inquiries that come through, you'll be able to work out pretty quickly who you have confidence in to get the deal across the line.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Beautiful.
What's your
Sorry, I believe
definition of
Donna
good?
Sorry, guys. I believe Donna still had a few questions before. Sorry, Donna, did you want to continue with a few more?
Yeah, I've kind of lost them now. So I've got a couple of iffy questions.
Sure.
I'm just not sure who to contact about them. So
Okay.
who would be the best contact?
Probably myself. Feel free to reach out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can you put your details up there, please, so I can
I sure
email
will. I'll
you?
put it in the chat here for everyone.
Thank you.
And just please feel free to reach out.
Yeah, I will.
Best
Thanks.
form of contact. Here we go. Let's put it in here now. Dylan@stashproperty.com.au. Beautiful.
Sorry, Richard, did you have another question?
What was your definition of good ones?
That's right.
The comparable price range, or the fact that it meets fire, flood, and heritage? You said you reject a lot,
Yes.
and I'm just wondering, no point in us supplying one to you if we feel it's going to be rejected anyway. So, what's your definition of a good one? Mm-hmm.
Okay, great question. So that goes across my 4 key pillars of purchasing. So the 4 key pillars that we like to go off is location, options, character, and quality. So location, strong capital growth potential, not on main roads or under flight paths, close to transport and amenities. We try to get as many properties as we can with that criteria. Options is their potential to add value via renovation, extension, or subdivision. Character, look, we do preference more of the older homes, well built with a bit of charm and functional layout. And then, of course, quality. We're after solid construction, must pass due diligence checks, from a visual straight away. Like if you start to see an awning or something falling down, we've all looked at a property before and go, oh, wow, a small breeze will blow that over. And then, of course, we really do prefer more of a brick, but also we do consider more of a weatherboard timber construction for that more character appeal. So, for example, in Ballarat, what we're seeing at the moment is a lot of the brick homes are doing quite well, but what actually outperforms them is the old school character home in Ballarat Central. These homes have some beautiful architecture features that really do just get them that higher price. And because they aren't representative of the actual marketplace itself, and they are a bit of an outlier. They are, if a market was to crash, because they're not identical to its next door neighbor, etc., and they do stand out, they are holding their own worth. So that is a very high level answer for you, Richard, there as what is a stash property criteria. Perfect. Alrighty. Is there any other questions, guys? No.
So if you haven't had a trial yet, Brett's put a link into there to get a free trial of Stash. If you've already had a trial and you need more time just to get back and have another quick look, just reach out to us. We'll try and get back into a few days so you can see what this new thing is. There's going to be so many changes coming over the next couple of months. There's been so much changes in the last couple of months, but with these briefs and then expanding the capabilities of searching for off-market properties, there's going to be so much more coming down the line. So yeah, definitely jump on for a trial. There's demos we do on the rest of Stash for researching and finding areas and doing it yourself. Every Tuesday and Thursday, you can jump into them or just reach out to us. We'll get you up to speed with what the rest of Stash does. But yeah, we're certainly seeing a lot of appetite for what we're doing here with off-market.
Beautiful. Well, guys, let's build smarter together. Please reach out, sign up for a trial demo. We'd love to hear from you. Reach out for a walkthrough as well. If you're new to the system and you would like a bit of a walkthrough on how to post your off-market listing on Stash, I'm always here. My detail is in the chats there, dylan@stashproperty.com.au. Upload your next brief, test our matching system. We built Stash to empower a new generation of buyers agents. Lean, scalable, and value focused. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for having me this evening.
End of financial year discount or something? No.
Oh, I can't make that call, mate. That's definitely above my pay grade.
Thanks very much.
Thanks all.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Colin. Thanks, everybody.
Guys.
Have a great night. Thank you. Take care.
Cheers.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much for coming.
No worries. Awesome.
Thank you, Dylan.
Thank you, mate. Take
See you,
care.
mate.
See you, mate.